Welcome back, Sky here, and today I'm going to be showing you basically how to make money using the Bazaar. The first part of making money on the Bazaar is to save money. So if you are ever buying or selling something, let's say enchanted flint like I have in my inventory right here, you would go to the item and you will never click sell inventory now. Never do that. When you sell inventory now, it's basically instant buy or instant sell. Never ever use instant buy or instant sell unless you need the stuff like right now. If you can wait like maybe 10 minutes or 20 minutes, you should probably go to create sell or create buy offer. So if you're, say I'm selling all this enchanted flint, I would first go to create sell and I click best offer minus 0.1. Beat the best price of the best offer so yours is filled first. So if I went to instant sell, I would get 1,280,000 coins. But if I click best offer minus 0.1, I would get 1,300,000. So that's like 100,000 coins right there. That's like 10% just by clicking best offer minus 0.1. And so that's it. If you're buying something, you would go into the Bazaar, you click, for example, enchanted flint, you click buy order, and let's say you just want, I just want one, and then you would click top order plus 0.1, and that costs 1,910. But say you did it and you did something silly like buying instantly. So if I were to buy one instantly, it would be 2,064, which is so much more. So let's look at the other options here to kind of understand what's happening. So same as best offer, really you don't get anything out of that. You can sell at the same offer as the best price. What basically happens is that when you sell something, another player buys that item and they basically buy it at the lowest price that it's offered at. But if you do minus 0.1, you'll beat them and you'll basically be guaranteed to be higher in the queue to sell your items compared to that other person. Now 10% and custom price. So 10% you'll never use, or 5%, whatever the spread is, that's like, or you just lose money and you may be higher in the queue, but then another person can just go and click best offer minus 0.1 and then you'd be beaten all over again. So just don't use that. Custom price. Now we'll get into this later. So basically what custom price is that you can choose what the selling point of your item is. So if you don't like the price right here, right now it says 12 coins for flint, then you can go into custom price and say 13 coins for flint. So you can sell it at a higher price or lower price, etc. So now I'm going to go into one of the easiest ways to make money on the Bazaar. Basically a very, very simple method. So let me withdraw like maybe 25,000 coins to demonstrate. So let's say that I'm a very newbie beginner. I'm basically going to buy stuff from the merchant. And then let me just take a look at how many coins I have. So I'm just going to buy a bunch of stuff from the merchant. Then I'm going to go back to the Bazaar. And then for demonstration purposes, I'm going to sell my inventory now. Just for demonstration, you would typically never do this. Instead, what you would normally do is you go into like coal, and you'd sell, and then you click best offer minus 0.1. But just for demonstration, I'm going to sell my inventory now. Sell my whole inventory. And then I just sold my entire inventory, and now I have 28,000 coins. Whereas before, as you saw, I had 25,000. So I just made 3,000 coins right there by basically doing nothing. So again, let me just click another item. Let's try, say potatoes. So you can only buy up to 640. That's a small limitation, but it's very good for beginners. So let's just say I bought these potatoes. And I'm going to sell my inventory now. And then now I have 29,000. So I just made another 1,000 coins basically out of nowhere. But usually most items, if you buy them from the merchants and then you sell to the Bazaar, you should be able to get maybe a couple thousand coins, which is really good if you're a beginner, just to get some quick change on your hands so you can buy other more important. Now, let's get into more advanced topics on the Bazaar. So now let's get into the Bazaar basically flipping part, or just being an educated buyer and seller on the Bazaar. So let's say I wanted to buy a lot of enchanted flint. Now, if I want to buy, or let's say I want to sell a lot of enchanted flint, Now, an educated thing to do would be to look at the graphs. So the graphs basically tell you what the price of the item was in, for example, the past 24 hours. Because an item may fluctuate in price over time. So the first tip I have here is always open the graphs menu when you're in 1.8.9 or like 1.8. Because if you open the graphs menu in, for example, 1.16 or 1.15, all the graphs will be messed up. So by opening it at 1.8.9, you get this very pretty graph. It will tell you basically what the price was over, for example, the past 24 hours. Okay, let's say, for example, you can't really see the entire graph. So make sure your GUI scale is not on like auto or something like that. So currently this is probably what you see. So like you can see it's like falling off the screen. You can't read what the heck is happening. You can't see off the side. That's bad. You don't want that. So what you would do is you go into Escape, Options, Video Settings, change your GUI scale right here. Make it to either small or normal. I set it to normal. You can also change it to small. And now, if you go into viewing your graphs, you should be able to see the whole thing, which is pretty useful. So, as you can see here, in the past 24 hours, the price was initially at like around 1,950 coins per enchanted flint, and then it dropped down to like 1,900, and then it went back up to like 1,975 within the past 24 hours. Now you can left click to see within 31 days or 7 days. So as you can see here, over the past 7 days, the price was initially at 2,300, and then over the past 7 days, the price has dropped dramatically. As you can see that there are some peaks and some valleys as to the price. So it goes up and down, up and down. And if you have enough data, you can sort of predict what the price will be at a certain point in time. So for example, if you know that the price will eventually go up to say 2,100 per enchanted flint, you could go into the sell offer right here, and you could custom price it to, for example, 2,100 per coins per enchanted flint instead of like top offer -1, which will yield you, I think, like an extra like 200 coins per extra per flint, which is definitely useful when you have like thousands of enchanted flint. So let's look at another example. Lapis, let's say enchanted lapis block. Let's view the graphs, and let's switch it to 24 hours. So as you can see, this is a much more volatile. So over the past 24 hours, it goes up and down like 2,000 within a range of like 2,000 coins. So like within the past 24 hours, it was at, for example, 62,000. Then 12 hours ago was at 64,000. So that's like a 2,000 gap right there. So imagine you, for example, bought at 62,000 per enchanted lapis block, and then you sold at 64,000 per enchanted lapis block. You'd make a net profit of 2,000 coins. Now, that may or may not be worth it for you. That's like, that's like 1/30th return on investment. But hey, if you have spare change in the bank, this may be worth it for you. So same with the buy price and sell price. They basically show the same trends, sort of. So in this way, you can figure out what the market, quote unquote, market price of an item should be. So make sure that you're not selling when the price is too low. And for example, you can kind of just gauge what the price will be in the future. You don't miss out on possible profits. Now let's get into what items to buy and sell on the bazaar. So unfortunately, the prices are constantly changing. So there's no definitive answer on what item you should buy or what item you should sell. It's always changing, okay? Like at the beginning, when the bazaar was initially created, for example, you should have bought a lot of stocks or whatever. And now like the price is just going up and down. You don't know what to buy and what to sell. Or for example, you could have invested in a lot of spruce, or like you could have set your minions to spruce, and those were very, very popular because people really wanted a lot of wolf pets. That would have been the most profitable minion. However, it's constantly changing all the time, and so it's just to recognize which minions are good and which minions are bad. So for example, you just need to keep in mind, for example, oh, and hey look, my enchanted flint order was filled. So all I had to do was wait maybe 15 minutes, and then I got like 100,000 extra coins than I would have gotten if I just sold it instantly. So that's like instant profits right there. Just need to keep in mind, for example, that like trees, whenever a minion does a harvest action, for example, you would get 4 wood, or for example, or there are other items that could go on the minion, for example, the farming orb, or I think that's what it's called, where it would boost minion productivity by 10%. Just keep those things in mind. And just look at the prices and try and compare. Flint, you would have like 1,900 compared to iron, which would be 1,100. And so I think you can kind of tell that investing in a flint minion will probably be better than investing in an iron minion. And of course you have to take into account, for example, like the minion timings and stuff, and this can get pretty confusing pretty quickly. And so what I personally suggest is, instead of doing all that complicated math, I would suggest using this minion sheet by T-Blaze Warrior T. Click me to copy and edit the sheet. I'll put this link in the description. This is an amazing resource. So if you don't want to do as much work, so you would copy this and you get something like this. So just simply, it's so simple, it literally amazes me. You just input your name and then just wait. So just type in your profile name. Okay, so you can find your profile name by going to profile management and then seeing here it says pomegranate right there. Back into this, and then it would import basically all your minions. So this is amazing in and of itself. It has like a minion checker. You can write in your fuel bonuses. It even calculates times to upgrade. This is like absolutely ridiculous. And what you want to go is to go to minion sales, and you go to here, bestseller minions. So it says it's experimental, but I found that it to be relatively profitable. So as you can see here, my bestseller minions are chicken, lapis, cow, and clay, and creeper. It even tells you how many coins per hour if you sold these are on the bazaar. Yeah, basically use these minions, I guess. Now a good thing to keep in mind is that in the time it takes you to make a minion, or like to get it to like a good level, which I would suggest is like either level 5 or level 7, it's probably not going to be profitable in the future. Because bazaar prices are always changing, constantly fluctuating. Like for example, the minions that I have now are kind of outdated. Like for example, I have a ice minion because that was when Frozen Blaze was incredibly popular. And so I still have it running. But now it's not as profitable as it used to be. So you have to constantly be on top of the things. You have to like constantly update which minions are the most profitable and the ones that are on your island. You have to just keep checking this, and it may not be worth it to switch, because like already you're investing like 50,000 coins to get a minion to like, for example, level 5 or level 7. And also it has the optimizer here, bazaar, all you really need. Instead of joining one of those like discords or whatever, you can just use this spreadsheet, and it's just insane, all this information. So it even has here like what you can buy from the NPC, and then you can sell it to the bazaar for a little bit more. Cost for everything. Since this thing is experimental, I guess, just try and like take it with a grain of salt, whatever it's telling you. Like just don't blindly follow it. Like test it out for a day, for example, put up like 4 or 5 of the minions on your island if you have them, and then gauge how much they produce, and then sell all of them to the bazaar and see how much you make with each minion. And if it's not close to what the spreadsheet says, then I guess you should switch it out. So anyways, thank you guys for watching. With these tips, you should be able to use the bazaar to basically buy and sell whatever you like in order to profit. Bye.